YouTube family, what's going on? On our way to the gym, got a back and biceps day. Gonna do probably similar to what we did last week. Wide grip lat pull downs with the cable. We're gonna do, instead of single arm dumbbell and single arm hammer strength seated row, I think we might do the single arm cable row again. I like that. I felt a really good squeeze with some rotation and really good contraction on that last week, so hit that again. And then after that we have supposed to be seated cable row. I might switch that up a little bit for some variety, and I might go to a different hammer strength plate loaded machine. That'll be a game time decision when we get in there. And then the last thing will be cable lat pullovers. For some reason I always blank on the name of what those are most commonly called, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Basically a dumbbell pullover with the cable machine and a bar in your hand. I always want to say lat pull downs, but when I say lat pull downs, everyone knows lat pull downs is lat pull downs, so I'm not sure. Cable lat pullovers is what I call them, something like that. You guys know what I mean. After that we have a machine preacher bicep curl, 30 minutes on the treadmill, and that's it. Everything is going good. Hit 226.2 this morning, so we're still dropping, which is awesome. Loving it. I like seeing those numbers go down on the scale because that's what we're working for. So last week I had like 3 solid days in a row where I was like, I think I was 228.6, 228.6, 228.6, 3 days in a row, and I was just getting bummed out. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You know, because even if it's 0.1 pound less, you know, mentally that's a good thing. When you go 3 days in a row and you're seeing that same number, I'm just like, damn, do I need to change something? Am I wasting a week by not changing anything and not seeing this scale drop? But you know, it's part of the process. Sometimes it could be anything. It could be cortisol levels, could be the way you slept at night. Usually I don't attribute it to water intake because I try to stop my water intake at really by like 8:30 p.m. at least, because if I continue drinking past 8:30, I always wind up getting up to go to the bathroom around 3 a.m. But if I continue drinking past 8:30, I have to get up at least twice. And I think the pros and cons to the water consumption there, I think it's better to be a little bit less hydrated and have your sleep a little bit less disturbed than be a little bit more hydrated and sleep shitty and wake up 3 or 4 times a night. You know, you got to weigh those options. So I try to get as much of my water intake done as early as possible through the day. Most of it done by 6 o'clock, and then just have a little bit left in between 6 and 8:30, and then the rest of the night just kind of chill out, because my 6:30 meal is a protein shake anyway, and I make that really, really icy, so there's a lot of water in that already. So that's probably at 6:30 I'm probably drinking at least 24 ounces of water. So any more past that, that just adds to me having to pee all night long. So other than that, you guys know, if you watched the last one, no changes in the diet this week. Today is Thursday, so we got today, we got Friday, we got Saturday. I usually check in, I was checking in on Saturday, but now we're checking in on Sunday. So on Sunday, I will throw the check-in over to the coach and see if we're leaving things or if we're going to make any changes. The only change that we've had for this week is one extra day of fasted cardio in the morning, and we added that to my Thursdays. So this morning we woke up, did fasted cardio, half-hour walk outdoors with the dogs before we ate, and then, like I said, everything else is the same. So we're steady decreasing on the scale. Everything's going as planned. Everything's moving well. That's it. I'll stop rambling. I will see you guys in the gym for back in biceps day. All right, what's up, kids? We are starting the workout with our wide grip lat pull downs. Starting to like the way the cut is going. Starting to see those back muscles a little bit better. Well, a lot better. About 55 pounds better than what we saw in November. Lat pull downs on this machine, not my favorite thing. If you notice by my range of motion, I can only go up to a certain range of motion before the stack hits the bottom and the cable tops out at the top, which is really unfortunate because I like getting that full stretch and range of motion at the top. But unfortunately on this machine, I could not do that, and the other machines were taken that day, and I was in a hurry. So you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you just make it work. So I tried to focus more on just getting constant tension on the muscle throughout the entire range of motion, just really focusing on the squeeze on the downward portion and contraction, mind muscle connection, all those fancy words. We're gonna finish up with those drop sets, bounce into this next one, a little bit different angle on the camera. Definitely liking the way the back is starting to look. Focusing on nice controlled movement here, nice pull down contraction, very slow on the eccentric portion, going to as much range of motion as I can. Fortunately, being a tall person has its downsides, and this machine is one of them. Next workout we're gonna do, I'll update in a sec. I'm just gonna kind of let this roll through until the next workout. Not much more to say about this, obviously. Almost done, finishing up that triple drop. There we go, good squeeze. Good squeeze. Nice slow eccentric. Dying at this point. If you hear any squealing in the background, that's my puppy Indy looking out the window, watching squirrels. So what we did instead of the single arm cable horizontal row was we took this hammer strength plate loaded rowing machine, and we do that standing up. Pelvis is going to be on this machine leaning right up against the seat, so not seated but standing with the pelvic area pressed up against the back of the seat, and then getting a nice horizontal row with a little bit of thoracic and lumbar rotation with the end of the range of motion at the end of the pull, and really trying to focus on pulling your elbow almost through your hip, or think about pulling the elbow into your pocket area, And I think that'll help a lot of you guys get that lat contraction if you have any trouble feeling that lat contract during these types of movements. A lot of people just focus on pulling backward, but if you focus on, instead of pulling through the hands, but pulling through the elbow, I think you'll get a much better contraction in the movement. So finishing these up here, and then we'll hit the next one. Again, back starting to look a little bit better than it did 50, 55 pounds ago. I went pretty heavy on these as well. This is a movement you can go a little bit heavier on, and not really sacrifice too much form. Really trying to push the heavy stimulus into the muscle still. Still getting a really good stretch at the end as well, and a nice squeeze through contraction at the end. So we finished up with, well, actually we didn't finish up with this, but this was our second to last back movement. Seated horizontal cables with the close grip. As you notice in the end, I'm actually rounding forward a little bit and trying to stretch out the lats over the rib cage. A little bit of a hip flex forward to further stretch them, and a nice contraction and pull through back. And then this is actually part of a drop set. So this wasn't my original working weight, but my lats were pretty fried at this point. All right, what up, guys? Quick little outro. Got through my first couple workouts. I videotaped my lat pull down, my single arm row, but and one of my sets of seated horizontal rows. But I didn't do both sets of that. I didn't film my cable pullovers, and I didn't film my machine bicep preacher curls. I was running short of time. I'm kind of ripping quick home, get ready and go into the office for the evening. I still got to get some food prepared. I'll probably have to do a quick little wipe down. I won't even have time for a full shower, so doing what we got to do. I had to skip cardio while I was at the gym, so I'll have to do cardio when I get home this evening. Probably hit the I'll either take the dogs for another walk, or I'll hit the spin bike in my basement. Not sure which, but anyway, that's it for today. I got 3 meals left to get in. Office hours tonight. Get home, good night's sleep. Office hours tomorrow morning, and then off for the weekend to focus on doing what we do best. This, and maybe get a little housework done. So, not to drag it out any longer, I will see you guys next time. Busy rest of my day. Peace out, big dogs. Be good.